The essence of regimental chess is that multiple pieces can move in formations in either battalions or regiments. A battalion is a fighting unit of the same kinds of pieces, like the 4 rooks you see here. A formation exists where one piece is connected to the next because they are either on adjacent squares or are in mutual support of one another. Mutual support means that if either piece is captured, the other can avenge or protect it. In this series of moves, these 4 rooks show different combinations of being in mutual support or adjacency. On the one hand, if they are on adjacent squares, they do not have to be able to protect each other. On the other hand, when they are mutually supportive, the distance between one piece and the next does not matter. Rooks can be facing each other from across the entire board, but as long as they have each other covered, they can move in formation. When the pieces move, they must move in exactly the same direction and exactly the same number of spaces, so that they end up in exactly the same position with respect to each other at the end of the move, as if they were cemented together. It's as though the separate parts form together into a greater singular whole, which itself then moves around the board. From one turn to the next, a unit can break up, parts or pieces can reposition, then it can reform and move again. The key to moving is always that they are either mutually supporting or touching from one piece to the next. It doesn't matter if the connection sequence changes from the beginning of the move to the end, so long as the unit still continues to qualify as a formation. Here the formation began being connected by the 2 rooks to the front and ended up being connected by the 2 in the rear. Here's a quick example of an illegal move, made so by the rooks going in different directions. Another invalid move is where they move a different number of spaces. Another invalid move is where they lose their unbroken line of connection at the end of their move. In this instance, the battalion becomes severed in the middle and lost its formation. Rather, the 2 rooks would have to break off and leave the others behind. The same rules apply to this battalion of bishops. They can move just like bishops usually do, but together. They can move in formation if they are either mutually supportive or on adjacent squares. Again, they must move in perfect unison, must maintain their formation, and move the exact same number of spaces and in the same direction. It does not matter how many spaces apart they are when they form, so long as they cover one another. Note that the 2 bishops on the black diagonals are mutually supportive, thus connecting the formation. The size and shapes of your formations are key to winning the game. Here's an example of 4 pieces that are not in formation because they are neither mutually supportive nor adjacent. Here's an example of an illegal move because they moved a different number of spaces. Regimental chess for the brutal intellect.